You don't have to be a rocket scientist to realize that the season in 2025 for Max Verstappen has been challenging. And to be fair to him, he has still been sensational. He's still been amazing, regardless of what Red Bull have thrown at their way, regardless of what the shenanigans that have taken place at Red Bull. But I want to paint you a picture for the season of 2026 and maybe even 2027. If Max Verstappen decides, you know what, I'm calling it quits. It's time for me to move on. It's time for me to go to pastures new. Let us discuss the top 5 teams in Formula One that Max Verstappen must, and I mean must, consider. Now, the first team on this list is going to be Ferrari. And you're probably thinking, whoa, Peter, relax. Ferrari, this is never going to happen. Well, let me tell you something right now. I never thought in a million years that Lewis Hamilton would join Ferrari. I never thought it would happen. And yet here we are discussing about Lewis Hamilton, discussing about the troubles that Ferrari and Lewis are having at this moment in time, discussing about the tough season that Lewis Hamilton has had. Bear this in mind, Carlos Sainz was in that Ferrari with Charles Leclerc, and you know what? Carlos Sainz held his own. Okay, he held it down. He had a fantastic season in Ferrari. Okay, his Ferrari career is nothing short of phenomenal. He got race wins, he got pole positions, he got on the podium multiple times. Okay, 2025 Ferrari can't even sniff the podium. They're barely getting on there. There's no chance of race wins. Okay, fine, you want to give the sprint win in terms of in China? We can do that. We can do all of that if you wish. But let me tell you something right now. If you think that it is beyond belief that Max Verstappen could join Ferrari, Ferrari have shown the exact example of the kind of drivers that they will look for, the kind of people that they will get involved with in order to join them into their team. They will do whatever it takes. And let me tell you something right now. Max Verstappen is the best Formula One driver on the planet. Ferrari would be insane to not be thinking about selecting Max Verstappen as part of their services. They've binned off one driver who's done half decent already for somebody who is spectacular in Lewis Hamilton, and I cannot see why they can't do it again. And let me tell you something, I don't care which one it is you're talking, who's getting dropped, because the argument might be, well, hang on, Charles Leclerc is there on a long-term contract. They've just got Lewis Hamilton. Who the hell gets dropped for Max Verstappen? This is not what we're discussing, okay? I'm not here talking about who Ferrari should replace him with. I am just saying Verstappen to Ferrari, it could be sensational. It could be, because Max Verstappen, as I said earlier, best in the world. And what he could probably do in that Ferrari, he can make miracle work happen, okay? I need to see this. I need to see Max Verstappen in red. I've had to come to terms with Lewis being in red, okay? I can dream. I can think more. And, you know, nothing is impossible when it comes to Ferrari. All things can happen when it comes to the prancing horse. My team in 4th place, Mercedes. Listen, it is no secret. Toto Wolff has been, let me say, lifting his skirt to Max Verstappen. He's been flirting with Max Verstappen in 2024 and in 2025, okay? He's thinking about how he's going to get Max Verstappen, a guy who they missed out on in his youth, okay? They missed out on Max Verstappen when he was young, and Red Bull swooped in. Toto Wolff has probably not slept since, okay? Even though Lewis Hamilton and even Nico Rosberg were collecting those wins and championship for Mercedes, let's not forget, yeah? Toto Wolff dropped the ball with Max Verstappen in terms of signing him as a young driver at the age of 14. And all I've ever heard is how amazing Max Verstappen is, how great Max Verstappen is, how good Max Verstappen is. Well, let me tell you something, Mercedes. This is the time. This is the moment where you've got George Russell, you've got a Kimi Antonelli, and I don't care which way they want to slice it. If they want to go with Kimi Antonelli and Max Verstappen, fine. If they want to go with George Russell and Max Verstappen, oh, this could be spicy. And you might say this is probably a bit of a mistake. If they had George Russell and Max Verstappen at Mercedes, how on earth will Mercedes work together in order to get the maximum points to win Constructors' Championships and Drivers' Championships? Well, let me tell you, they brought George Russell in when Lewis Hamilton was there, okay? Which was probably the wrong idea, depending on which side of the fence you sit on. Great idea if you're George Russell, because he came in there, he ruffled feathers. But if you're a Mercedes person, you know full well this is the reason, one of the reasons why the start of the decline took place. Not because George Russell is not good, it's because he's good, and it's because he's brilliant. And the fact that Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, there was a bit of interpolitics there in terms of who should they be thinking about, who should they be giving more responsibility to, who should they be giving the favor between those two drivers. This is where we are now with Mercedes, okay? They're now stuck in the middle. They're caught in the middle at this moment in time, and they're in the middle of nothing right now. They've got the power engine. It seems to be the best engine in Formula One. And in 2026, 2027, who knows if Mercedes will hit the ground running, and if they do, and they have somebody like Max Verstappen, let me tell you something. Max Verstappen should have a look and see what takes place in the Mercedes camp. Okay, number 3 on this list, Aston Martin. The reason I put them third, it's all about the potential. I know Aston Martin flatter to deceive. I know Aston Martin once upon a time were looking like a team who could be back to the top, or let me say at the top. When I say back, it's because I'm thinking of Fernando Alonso on those podiums in 2023 and 2022, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. But now, Aston Martin, things are in place. The pieces are there. They are fitting in that puzzle, okay? Andy Cowell, team principal. You've got Mike Crack, the strategist on the race day. You've got Lawrence Stroll, of course, the billionaire man, the man who owns a part of Aston Martin, okay? A man who's got more money than money can buy. They've got Fernando Alonso, vintage Formula One driver, a driver who still has it, in all honesty, even at the age of 40. He can still do bits in that car, in a Formula One car. You bring in Adrian Newey from Red Bull, where Max Verstappen has been dominating Formula One from. We talk about Adrian Newey as one of the best designers in Formula One history. Can you imagine now if Max Verstappen comes along, right, and pairs up with Adrian Newey once again in the Aston Martin with all the facilities, with all the potential? I mean, state-of-the-art stuff at Aston Martin. They are not here to muck about. They're not here to play games. They're not here to be part of the pack. And if they added Max Verstappen can look at it and say, do you know what? This is the missing piece. It's the driver, somebody who's got the knowledge, who's got wheel knowledge, who can be giving feedback back to his teammates, back to his mechanics, and talking about the way in which the car should go. Look at what he's doing at Red Bull now. The man is taking lead on himself on how to repair the damage that has been 2025 in Formula One. Aston Martin, by the way, it is a shiny toy. It's a shiny new toy, and I can only see nothing but great things for Max Verstappen. Number 2 on this list, you know what, people? Stay at Red Bull, because what I am seeing in terms of Max Verstappen's 2025 season, from the beginning of the season to where we are now, we have seen nothing but an uphill trajectory. We are seeing this man compete in races where he's dunking on McLarens, where he's dunking on the Ferrari and the Mercedes. And bearing in mind that Red Bull in the Constructors' Championship are P4 behind both Mercedes and Ferrari, and of course McLaren. But the very fact that there is a turn, there seems to be a key that's turning over, whether it's the upgrades, whether it's the drivability, whether it's the certain setup on a race weekend, I am seeing Max Verstappen come alive. In the last couple of races at the time of recording, I have not seen anything like it. Monza and Baku, what on earth has Max Verstappen been on? What is he drinking? What's in that Red Bull? What is happening with those two people? With Laurent Mekies, with Yuki Tsunoda? Because Yuki Tsunoda, by the way, he's not had a great season. But I've seen this man improve and improve and improve. He was in the top 10, in the top 6 in Baku. Okay, he was miles away from his teammate. Okay, that's fine. But I've not seen Yuki Tsunoda be getting points at all this season. But let me get back to the subject matter at hand. Red Bull are on the trajectory. Red Bull are putting people on notice. You guys have had your fun. Okay, your McLarens, your Mercedes, and Ferrari getting the win here and there. You've had your fun, you've had your time. I hope it was fun while it lasted, because Red Bull seems to have put things together, and with Max Verstappen being one of the central figures of this upward trajectory in Red Bull, this upgrade in Red Bull, this new Red Bull without Christian Horner. Oh my goodness. 2026, 2027 could look dangerous, scary hours. Max Verstappen, of course, should be thinking about staying at Red Bull. My number 1 pick, however, controversial scenes. My number 1 pick, people, has got to be McLaren. Why? They're the best car in the grid right now. It's a no-brainer. This is the best car, and I can't help but think, if Max Verstappen was in the McLaren this year, where would he be? Where would he be? We are, and this is no slight on Oscar Piastri or Lando Norris. Two drivers who have done really well this season. Oscar has absolutely lit up the season. He's been phenomenally great. If he wins the championship, he would deservedly win so. But Max Verstappen, if he had half the car the McLaren was, my God, we would be looking at a driver who we start now talking in the GOAT conversations, okay? It's not time right now. He's a 4-time Formula One world champion, the same way Sebastian Vettel is, okay? Fair enough, he's got more championships than Alain Prost and Ayrton Senna. But when we talk about GOAT conversations, we do not talk about the likes of Sebastian Vettel. We don't really talk about Alain Prost in that sense. We can't be talking about Max Verstappen because the GOAT tier, the Mount Rushmore, in terms of like in the last 30 years, you're looking at your Sennas, you're looking at your Michael Schumachers and your Sir Lewis Hamiltons. So let's pump the brakes. But if Max Verstappen starts to go over to another team and dominate and win championship after championship after championship, holy smoke, stop the press. Because we are watching a spectacle. We are watching a master at hand. And the potential is there because you know what McLaren have got good as well as their drivers? People like Andrea Stella. That man has moved heaven and earth, okay, to get McLaren to where they are. McLaren are bombarding the Constructors' Championship. They are killing it. When they won it in 24, they done phenomenally well. They won it on the last day, but look at the trajectory from where they came from. This was a team that was languishing mid-table mediocrity. This was a team that used to be P9 in the Constructors' Championship when Fernando Alonso was talking about GP2 engines. But let me tell you something. Andrea Stella, not Seidel, they're to get rid of. Okay, Andrea Stella, Zach Brown, we can't forget, of course. Rob Marshall's there. Pete Pedromu. There's people I'm missing in this camp, in this team. Randy Singh. These people have got together and have produced a car in Formula One for McLaren in 2025 that I am just like, this is unbelievable. And the only thing that's probably missing in the McLaren suit is a killer behind the wheel. And that man is Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen's got to be looking at that McLaren and thinking, hang on a minute, I can do a better job than both these boys. And these boys ain't doing a bad job. But that is my number one pick on where Max Verstappen should definitely be considering to go. I know Red Bull are on the up, and I know people are thinking, look, it's new regulations next year. Maybe McLaren won't be as dominant. Maybe they won't be as good as they have been in this past year. However, they are the best at the moment. They're the best team in the world at the moment. They are walking away with the Constructors' Championship over double points in terms of the lead from second place. They are walking away. They won it last year. They're winning it this year at a canter. And Max Verstappen should definitely be looking at the best team in the world. Those are my top 5 picks for Max Verstappen to be choosing and considering where he should move if he was to leave Red Bull, but I've also included Red Bull in there. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Where should Max Verstappen go? And if you like Formula One content like this, make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel because there's going to be plenty of Max Verstappen talk, there'll be plenty of Red Bull talk, and overall, of course, there'll be plenty of Formula One talk. YouTube thinks you will like this video over here, so make sure you go ahead and click on that. And until next time, lights out.